For over a century, Hammond's has been crafting candy by hand, following time-honored traditions and using only the finest ingredients. From colorful candy canes to luscious lollipops and rich caramels, each treat is a masterpiece, blending artistry with flavor. In the early days, an apprentice inadvertently twisted a batch of peppermint sticks into a cane shape. Instead of discarding them, Carl T. Hammond Senior saw potential in the new form, leading to the iconic candy canes we know today. We're stepping inside the Hammond's Candy Factory to witness how these iconic candies are made. You'll see the skilled candy makers, the mesmerizing candy-pulling machines, and the vibrant colors that make Hammond's candy unforgettable. Along the way, we'll also uncover some hilarious stories from the factory floor that show how even the sweetest process can sometimes get a little sticky. Let's dive into the world of Hammond's and see just how these sweet treats are crafted. Every Hammond's candy starts with the finest ingredients. Quality is at the heart of each recipe, and Hammond's takes pride in sourcing the best sugars, syrups, and natural flavors. It's this commitment to quality that gives Hammond's candy its exceptional taste and texture. The process starts with simple ingredients, but under the care of skilled candy makers, these ingredients are transformed into something truly magical. Hammond's uses pure cane sugar, a crucial ingredient for achieving the smooth, glossy look and satisfying crunch that candy lovers expect. Unlike processed sugars, cane sugar allows for a stable, uniform crystallization, giving each piece of candy its iconic texture. It's like the difference between a perfectly smooth marble statue and a rough, unfinished stone. The corn syrup, carefully sourced for quality, helps prevent crystallization, creating a silky, stretchy consistency perfect for lollipops and candy canes. Think of it as the ingredient that gives the candy its stretch, much like gluten does for bread dough. Of course, the flavors are where Hammond shines. Once a mix-up in the flavoring station led to a batch of lollipops combining cherry and mint. The team braced for complaints, but were surprised to find that everyone loved the unexpected fusion. It was even considered for a seasonal flavor, proof that happy accidents can lead to innovation. Additionally, Hammond's incorporates only high-quality natural extracts to flavor their candies, enhancing their richness. For example, the peppermint oil used in candy canes is pure, offering that refreshing burst of coolness with each bite. Once the ingredients are measured, they're ready to begin the cooking process. This is where the real magic begins, as these simple ingredients are transformed into the vibrant, colorful candy Hammond's is known for. Now that the ingredients are prepared, it's time for the cooking process. Candy making is as much a science as it is an art. Precise timing, temperature, and technique are required to transform these simple ingredients into the candy base. The sugar, corn syrup, and water are poured into large copper kettles and gradually heated to high temperatures. Of course, things don't always go perfectly. During one particularly humid summer, a batch of marshmallows expanded unexpectedly, oozing out of their trays and onto the floor. The team called it the Marshmallow Monster, and cleaning it up became an epic tale told during factory tours. Copper kettles are a staple of traditional candy making. Copper conducts heat evenly, preventing hot spots and ensuring that the sugar mixture doesn't scorch. Heating is carefully controlled to ensure the candy mixture reaches what candy makers call the hard crack stage, approximately 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Reaching this precise temperature ensures the candy will be firm and brittle once it cools, allowing for the hard, satisfying crunch that Hammond's hard candies are known for. The candy mixture must be continuously stirred to keep it from cracking or burning. Candy makers use long-handled paddles to slowly, methodically stir the mixture. This careful attention prevents crystallization and ensures that the texture will be perfectly smooth. When the candy reaches the perfect temperature, a scorching 324 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead, it's time to add color and flavor. Hammond's candy makers are true artists, adding just the right amount of vibrant colors and natural flavors to create their signature taste and look. Whether it's classic peppermint for candy canes or fruity flavors for lollipops, each batch is carefully customized. Once the color and flavor are thoroughly mixed, the candy is ready to be poured out onto cooling tables. This is where the candy starts to take shape, moving from a molten liquid into a moldable, pliable consistency. After cooking, the candy mixture is poured onto large cooling tables. These tables are designed to cool the candy quickly while keeping it flexible enough to work with. At this stage, the candy is extremely hot, and candy makers have to work carefully to avoid burns while managing the cooling process. Cooling tables allow the candy to reach a state where it's warm, but firm enough to handle. Candy makers then start to fold and shape the mixture, gradually cooling it down while blending the color and flavor evenly. This part of the process requires strength and skill. The candy is heavy and sticky. Each fold is done with precision to create a smooth texture. One of the most mesmerizing steps in Hammond's candy making process is the candy pulling. This traditional technique aerates the candy, giving it a glossy finish and a softer bite. The candy makers place the warm candy onto a large mechanical hook and begin to stretch and fold it repeatedly. It's a hypnotic process, but it can also get messy. Once, during a particularly hectic day, an overzealous pull caused sugar threads to fly across the room, sticking to walls, machines, and even people. By the end, the team was covered in sticky strings, and they jokingly called it the Battle of the Sugar Threads. As the candy is pulled, tiny air bubbles are introduced into the mixture, transforming it from a dense mass to a light, fluffy consistency. This process not only gives the candy a beautiful, shiny appearance, but also enhances its texture, making it easier to bite into and releasing more flavor as you chew. It's similar to how kneading bread dough creates air pockets for a lighter texture. Candy pulling requires just the right timing and rhythm. If the candy is pulled too much, it can lose its structure. If it's not pulled enough, it won't achieve the desired texture. Hammond's candy makers are experts at knowing exactly when to stop pulling, creating the perfect balance of shine, texture, and flavor. With the candy fully aerated and ready, it's time to start shaping it. Hammond's is known for its iconic candy canes and classic lollipops, each crafted by hand with precision and care. To create these shapes, the candy is divided into sections, with each section stretched, twisted, and shaped into its final form. For candy canes, the candy makers take 2 strips, one red, one white, and twist them together by hand. This creates the classic peppermint twist design that makes candy canes so visually appealing. Once twisted, each candy cane is shaped into a hook by hand, giving it the traditional cane shape. Occasionally, things don't go as planned. One batch came out with a bit too much twisting, resulting in what the team jokingly called candy pretzels. While that batch never made it to shelves, the team kept one as a reminder that sometimes mistakes can be just as beautiful. Every candy cane is shaped individually, giving it a unique character. This hands-on approach is a Hammond's tradition, allowing each piece to be made with care and attention to detail. The candy makers then lay the candy canes out to cool and harden, setting their shape. For lollipops, the candy is shaped into long cylinders and then sliced into discs. Each disc is carefully placed onto a lollipop stick, then twisted slightly to create a swirl design. Just like the candy canes, these lollipops are shaped by hand, making each one unique. Hammond's takes quality control seriously. Each candy batch undergoes a thorough inspection to make sure it meets Hammond's high standards. The candy makers check for color consistency, flavor, and shape accuracy, making sure each piece reflects Hammond's dedication to excellence. Each candy cane and lollipop is checked for size, uniformity, and smoothness. Even the slightest imperfections are noticed, as Hammond's prides itself on providing customers with consistent, high-quality treats. If a candy cane is unevenly twisted or a lollipop is slightly off-center, it's set aside and reprocessed to ensure only perfect pieces make it to packaging. Taste testing is another important part of the quality control process. Hammond's has a dedicated tasting team that samples each batch, ensuring that the flavors match the classic taste that customers expect. It's not just about appearance. Each piece must also meet strict standards for taste and aroma. Any candy that doesn't meet these standards is set aside. Hammond's is committed to delivering only the best to their customers, and this final inspection step ensures that every candy is as beautiful and delicious as the last. After passing inspection, the candies are ready to be packaged. Packaging is a crucial step that keeps Hammond's candies fresh and protected, while also adding to their visual appeal. Each candy cane, lollipop, and piece of caramel is wrapped in high-quality packaging that reflects the craftsmanship inside. Hammond's candy makers use automated wrapping machines to ensure each piece is securely wrapped, keeping it fresh and protected until it reaches customers. The packaging process is fast and efficient, but the care that goes into each wrap reflects Hammond's commitment to quality. Once the candies are wrapped, they're ready for the final step, packaging for distribution. The candies are carefully packed into boxes, ready to be shipped to stores and homes around the world. Each box is labeled and sealed with care, ensuring that every Hammond's treat arrives as fresh as the day it was made. From here, these boxes travel across the country, bringing the joy of Hammond's candy to children, families, and candy lovers everywhere. Each piece is a little taste of tradition, a sweet reminder of the craftsmanship and passion that go into every Hammond's candy. Believe it or not, that huge batch of candy we saw earlier turns into about 1,000 lollipops, and Hammond's makes a staggering 6,000 lollipops every single day. That's enough lollipops to give one to every person in a small town. And that's the journey of Hammond's candy, from the hands of skilled candy makers to your hands. Each piece of Hammond's candy is a small work of art, crafted with dedication and care. The next time you enjoy a Hammond's candy cane, a lollipop or a caramel, remember the time, skill and love that went into making it. Thank you for joining us inside Hammond's Candy Factory, where every piece of candy is made with heart. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this tour, and stay tuned for more behind-the-scenes looks at the world's sweetest treats.